And I'm muted. And I'm muted. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. No. We should be good now. We should be good now. You should hear me now. Woo! There's some issue going on in regards to StreamYard and all the things, but you should hear me now. Shout out to everyone here. I appreciate your patience. We're doing an impromptu live to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. As you know, we had a special guest here this week with DJ Richie Sky, and we talked about it then. But of course, I watched Real Housewives of Potomac again, reunion part 2, and I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of opinions. So I wanted to come back and I wanted to give callers an opportunity to call in and share their thoughts. If you're a member of the channel, we've dropped the call-in link on the community tab, so you already have access to the backstage. You have first access to share your thoughts. Live chat, we will be dropping the call-in link for you guys, but get those likes up. Spread the word, share the video, subscribe, because it is a subscribers only live chat. Now that I've said that, let's just get into a countdown, and then we'll get into the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 Reunion Part 2. We're also going to talk about the season so far. We're going to talk about the season as well so far. All right, so let's go.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. The lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share. This is an impromptu live. We normally recap Vanderpump Rules, so I am going to talk a little bit about Vanderpump Rules. There isn't a lot to say. I watched the episode. I just want to talk about the main points. It's the same point over and over every single week. Every single week. Part of the reason why I stopped this week recapping it. Last week, for those that were asking, where was it? We did a special live and we talked about it during our Wednesday takeover instead of Tuesday takeover. So be sure to check that out if you were looking for my Vanderpump Rules thoughts, okay? But I will start by saying, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to let me know where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok, those of you watching on Twitter, Twitch, and on Facebook. And of course, here on YouTube. Apologies for the delay. So let me just jump right on in regards to Vanderpump Rules, and then we'll get into the Real Housewives of Potomac. So Vanderpump Rules is the latest episode. They're on the beach. There's this battle between Ariana and Tom Sandoval. And she doesn't understand why the group doesn't understand where she's coming from. And to be honest with you, I actually felt bad for Ariana. She really broke down, got really emotional. And she says that he still has not taken full ownership or even apologized to her for the Rachel situation. And then I'm thinking to myself, did we see him apologize? Genuinely? I can't recall the apology. It could have happened. It could have happened. But for her, she doesn't feel like he's shown true remorse to her. All right? Tom Sandoval is saying about Ariana in his confessional, she's going to have a rude awakening when she has to pay her own bills, because during this back and forth between them, she brings up, well, Maya is my dog. I paid those adoption fees. And Tom is like, that's the only thing you ever paid for. Oh, damn. Remember last week, for those that saw my recap of Vanderpump Rules during our Wednesday takeover, I said, I'm not sure if Ariana should be investing herself into a $1.6 million home, especially if she keeps her home the way that she keeps that room. Come on, ew. We were talking about and leaving the food by the bedside. Ew. I hope she doesn't treat the $1 million home like that. I mean, she's treating this $1 million home like that, so who knows? All right. Oh, SP, thank you for the breaking news. SP says, did you all see no BravoCon this year? It will be November 2025 in Vegas. I haven't seen that, but I had a feeling because I was like, there hasn't been an announcement for BravoCon this year, which is a relief to me. I love BravoCon for all of you that come, and I get to meet all of you guys. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, God. So no, stay tuned. I haven't seen that myself, but I suspected because I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any murmurs of BravoCon happening this year. But it makes sense because half of their shows aren't airing. It's been a sort of slow start to 2024. So I'm not completely surprised that there won't be a BravoCon this year. Like I said, I haven't seen the official word. If you guys can link me to the official word, that would be great. Oh, it's on Bravo's IG page. Thank you so much. Let me go there so I can confirm for you guys. Hold on. Because I had a feeling that this was going to happen this year, but let's see. I did see that they're launching something called a watch party this summer. You know, we have our own little watch parties. Shout out to all of you guys. Let me see. I don't see it on their IG page. Let me see. I don't see okay, wait, is this it? No, I don't see it. But okay, I'll trust you guys. Stay tuned. I don't see it on their page. I don't know what the thumbnail will be, but it's all right. It's all right. Maybe it's in their Instagram story. Let me see. No, I don't see it. Look, I don't see it. It's all right. Stay tuned. Once we get official word, you know you guys will hear from me. But I saw that comment and I said, well, I'm not surprised. Because we haven't really heard anything quite yet in regards to BravoCon for 2024. But like I said, what are we going to have happen in November when half of your shows aren't even happening right now? But it's okay. Miss Esquire says that they are retooling too many shows to have a con this year. Yeah. It makes sense. We don't know what's happening with Potomac. We don't know what's happening with Atlanta. We know there's a reboot happening in Atlanta. So I'm not completely surprised. But for those that are just joining us, I wanted to start this live recap off first, talking a little bit about Vanderpump Rules. As I said before, in regards to Ariana, she says that, those dogs are hers. He says that he pays all the other bills. Here's the thing with Tom. It's hard to believe Tom Sandoval because he lies so damn much. He lies all the time. But at the same time, I'm like, is it true? If it is true, my concerns from last week in regards to her buying Teach says Variety has a story on it. All right. So people in Vulture reported it. Thank you guys. Just simply says, I saw the announcement on Bravo's Twitter page. Okay. So it's not on their Instagram. All right. So let me go to the Twitter page real quick, y'all. But in regards to Vanderpump Rules, the other biggest storyline, because if you saw the updated thumbnail that I posted to you guys, the situation between Katie and Tom Schwartz dating the same person. Tori is her name. Was her name Tori? How old is Tori? Do you guys believe that Katie is a lesbian? Or not even a lesbian, bisexual? Because she says she's always had interest in girls. When? Look, when? Who, what, where, when? Oh, here we go. I see the announcement. So Bravo did announce about an hour ago that BravoCon is returning to Las Vegas November 14th, 6th to 16th, 2025. And they say, trust us, it's going to be worth the wait. Okay. But back to Katie. Did y'all see Katie kiss that girl? Did y'all see that? She's 24. Carrie Ann says Tori is 24. First of all, okay, well, I'll leave the age alone. She looks young. I don't know. Even when I saw the preview about Katie and Schwartz dating the same person, I was like, this seems like a scheme that the LVP set up to come with us with the BS. Because the season was already lackluster and they needed something else. Katie was kissing that girl. I was like, ew, Katie. The first thing that jumped out of my mind, Katie's a terrible kisser. Go back and watch it. I know. You might not want to watch it. But I watched her kiss Tori and I was like, she's a terrible kisser. She also doesn't seem like she was really into it. Do I think that she would kiss a girl in order to keep her job and do what the producers want her to do? Yup. Yup. All right. So, and apparently Tom Schwartz and Joe. So, according to Joe, Joe's getting confessionals. Joe's a part of the season. Joe was at the reunion. So Joe says that they've told each other that they love each other, that they want to be together. So I'm confused at their conversation towards the end because she gets hurt when they go to the singles mixer and he's trying to talk to other people. She's like, I thought we came here to support Sandoval. I felt for Joe. I felt for Joe the previous episodes because the girls were being mean to her. Joe met up with Lala and was like, I had no idea about Sandoval and his affair. I assumed that Sandoval and Ariana had broken up. Do you believe Joe? Even if we don't believe Joe, even if Joe knew, Joe's not friends with these folks. Joe probably like thinking, remember what Candace said during the reunion, this part 2 reunion, which we're about to get to? Remember what she said? She's like, I didn't want to get involved. So maybe Joe did not want to get involved, especially with people that don't like her. So a part of me doesn't blame Joe for like, hands off. But poor Joe got her feelings hurt this week. Here's the thing, Joe. I actually think you have more sense than Tom Schwartz. And that's saying a lot. And I could see the future of Joe getting frustrated with Schwartz. Katie, you are a saint. Or maybe an idiot. So, damn. Because you put up with that level of stupidity from Schwartz for years. It's like he doesn't know. He can't make up his mind in regards to what he wants. And that was part of the reason why Katie decided to divorce him. I agree. Trauma Queen says Joe dodged a bullet. I agree. She dodged a major bullet because I see the same problem that Katie had with Schwartz that she was going to have with Tom Schwartz as well. Joe was going to have the same issue. But I honestly don't believe the storyline that they're dating the same person. And I know some of you said Katie's bisexual. Fine. Katie's bisexual. I didn't believe this. It's another Kyle Richards situation. Maybe she is. Maybe she is into Tori. Tori, run. I bet you... Tori, tell me that kiss was terrible, because that kiss looked terrible. Go back and watch the kiss. Go back and watch that kiss. It was terrible. I could tell. And if this was Kempire After Dark, I see you May 30th, Boston. If this was Kempire After Dark, I would really go in regards to what I really want to say in regards to that kiss and how Katie might be doing other things. I'm going to move on. So that is the major storyline for Vanderpump Rules in last night's episode. We are seeing Tom Sandoval and Ariana still going back and forth. Lala and Brock are being the voice of reason. You saw what Andy Cohen said yesterday. We played it during our Tuesday takeover. He thinks that they're the voice of reason this season. We also see Lala is starting this journey in regards to being a single mother to a second child. She's going to do this whole insemination situation on her own. I said this before, I'll say it again. I'm a little concerned, not for her taking care of a child. I'm concerned at her intention because she's saying this particular child, because of the way that she's doing it, no one will be able to take this one from me. And I'm thinking to myself, is this a trauma response to what you're going through with Ocean's father? That makes me concerned, but either way, I think the child will be surrounded by love, so I'm not that concerned. I'm concerned that your intention behind doing this on your own. Because there are a lot of people doing on their own that were like, I don't want to do this on my own. I would much rather do this with a partner. But we know every day mothers are out here doing on their own. All right. Chocolate Chunks. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. I feel like I haven't seen your name in a while. Ariana's bi. Yeah, I forgot that Ariana's bi. All right. So some of the major issues in this episode, we get to see Lala go, start the journey of becoming a single mother to a second child on her own. Sheena goes with her. Tori is actually Sheena's friend. Sheena, again, is trying to hook people up. We see the whole Ariana and Tom Sandoval situation continue. But the biggest issue this week, and the biggest issue for me, was seeing poor Joe get her feelings hurt by Tom Schwartz. By Tom Schwartz. She's got her feelings hurt by Tom Schwartz. Anyways, I know a lot of you have been asking to hear my thoughts on Vanderpump Rules, so I didn't want to miss a week of not talking about the latest episode. They've already shot their reunion. The season has been very lackluster. After this season, I probably will not be talking. Who knows? After this week, I probably will not be talking about Vanderpump Rules. Because there's so many other things that we could do with our time than that. Like do a special live show talking about Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8's Reunion Part 2. So as I said to you guys before, I did a recap with DJ Richie Sky earlier this week. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out. You can also hear it on our podcast, Kempire, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, along with special episodes like the special episode that we did on the Mercury retrograde and the eclipse this week. That was a really fun one to do. So be sure to check that out. Okay. And of course, I had additional thoughts. Why did I watch this Potomac reunion part 2 for a fourth time? Because I wanted to make sure that I'm not going to go over everything, because really this live show is about you guys calling in and sharing your feelings about these part 1 and part 2. Mostly part 2 because we didn't have a call in. All right. Gigi says that was a great recap. Thank you. Hey, Rozzy. Thanks, Gigi. Thank you. Okay. Let me just say thank you, because we had a super chat before we jump into Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 Reunion Part 2 recap. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat. Sharon says they are taking a year off for BravoCon this. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Yes, we found the information, so there will be no BravoCon this year for those that are just joining us. No BravoCon, and honestly, I'm relieved. I'm sorry, I'm relieved. Now it opens me up. Not opens me up. Opens up my schedule. Opens up my schedule for the end of the year. As you know, we are on tour, as you can see scrolling across your screen. But for those that are listening to this, we will be in Boston, May 30th. Get your tickets if you haven't gotten your tickets already. We'll be in Nashville on July 11th, Atlanta on July 12th, and then we're coming to Seattle on August 30th. So be sure to get your tickets if you live in Portland, if you live in Vancouver. That will be the closest that we will be getting to bringing the Kempire After Dark tour to that particular part of the West Coast. So be sure to get your tickets if you haven't already. All right. And yes, more dates will be announced. We're just waiting to confirm. So now that we know BravoCon is not happening, that will free up November for me to do maybe some traveling or another show Maybe we'll have our Kempire Con. Finally. Come on now. Thank you, Aletta, for the gifts on TikTok. All right, enough of that. So here are my thoughts, some additional thoughts before we get into some callers in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 2. One of the things that stood out to me, shout out to someone that commented on my Instagram. I wanted to point this out too, because I was like, as soon as they said, I was like, yes, here's the thing, regular Robin, or as I've been calling her this week, irregular Robin. I think it's unfair that your husband, this is why you should be fired. I'm sorry. You should be fired. Because the way that you are coming at Chris Bassett in this reunion, when your husband is never behind you and everybody has questions for him, and I don't understand why you were so pressed with this false story. This woman had no credibility. First of all, this woman had no credibility even before she came out and said, oh, I made it all up. Because if you saw the video that we all saw, she looked unwell. She looked inebriated. I did not see her make another retraction. And if she made a retraction, that already tells you she's not a reliable source. So why were you so pressed? Oh, what about the screenshots? Let me tell you, the MVPs of this Potomac Reunion Part 2 was Dr. Wendy Asefo and Chris Bassett. Chris, the way that he was, and he didn't raise his voice. He did not raise his voice at all when he was addressing Giselle, but I'm sure he was very intentional with that. He was just very clear. He had 2 points that he made, and that was enough for me. The first point was, well, Giselle, you felt the way that you felt that I made you feel. So why can't Candace be validated in the way that she feels. And I hate the fact, because everyone's been slamming Andy in production for not following up, not pressing Giselle more. But let me tell you something. When Chris said, he didn't say it like this, I'm paraphrasing it. Why is it that Giselle is not being pressed more? Like, everyone's saying that Candace needs to be held accountable for the words that she uses. But why is it this season, when we heard Giselle say out of her own mouth and then deny it at the reunion until production told her, oh no, you said it. You said it. Hold on, where's my, I haven't played this look.
Who said that? When did she say that? You did.
You did. You said it. You said he made you go into that hotel room and close the door. And then you try to deny it. And then also during this reunion, you try to deny that Dr. Wendy Acefo and Candace did not congratulate Grace to you. And then didn't ask you about, is she going to be an AKA? She was so emphatic, Giselle. You never asked me that. You never asked me that. And production, editors, post-producers that I met at the Summer House premiere party, you failed us. Where was the footage? This reunion was filmed. You could have inserted the footage. I know in the moment when you're asking this, you can't pull it out of nowhere. I believe Dr. Wendy Acefo. I believe Candace in this instance. Because why would they lie about that? Especially in a reunion where we've discovered that Giselle has lied multiple times and has a when it's convenient for her memory. When it's convenient for her. She's denied saying what she said in regards to Chris Bassett. And now she's denying, oh, you guys never congratulated me on Grace. And you never asked. Well, she didn't say it like that. She was like, you never did. It never happened. It never happened. It happened. You also have no credibility. But I just tweeted in regards to regular Robin. Besides the fact that Juan Dixon has decided not to be here after he decided to remarry you on this show, after multiple allegations of cheating on him, he decided not to show up. Fine. But you want to press Chris Bassett, Candace's husband, about a baseless rumor. You have nerve to press her husband when your husband's not behind you defending his story, his actual receipts of him being inappropriate with someone. And not that he paid for this hotel room via the phone. He went to the hotel room and paid. He went to the hotel and paid for it. Is that all? Is Juan coming? No. No. But now when we talk about, because Robin has said that she feels that what Candace did on social media was unforgivable. And look, we have said countless times that we could understand where Robin is coming from. Let me speak for myself. We can understand where Robin is coming from for being hurt for what Candace said after it was revealed in regards to the Juan situation. We could understand that. Is it unforgivable? Not in my eyes, but maybe it is for Robin. But I think that's convenient based off the history of the show and the things that have happened amongst these women. However, I find it so interesting the way that she's pressing Chris, in part 2 of this reunion. And you wonder why Candace might think you were very calculated in regards to not sharing your personal story with Juan and his alleged, inappropriate behavior with this woman from Canada. The way that you're pressing Chris at this reunion. So what makes you think that she wouldn't think, like, well, maybe you would do something like this? Because the minute this baseless rumor about Chris came out, you guys were ready to bring it to your podcast, the Two Broke Girls podcast. Oh.
Who said that? When did she say that? You did.
You were ready to do that. And based off part 2 of this reunion, it was very clear to me. I was like, oh, this is why they decided not to bring her back. Juan decided not to show up. Juan is the reason why you lost your job. I know she hasn't confirmed it yet. Sidebar, Christina Applegate, who is a legend. She is an icon. She's going through a health situation. So I'm not going to slam, Christina Applegate. I love her. But let me tell you something right now, Miss Applegate. You better take this tweet back. So Christina Applegate posted on Twitter, what in the actual F Why is regular Robin Dixon not coming back to the Real Housewives of Potomac? No, at Andy, you need to explain this to me. She is my favorite housewife of all the franchises. Girl.
Lies! The lie!
I'm concerned. I'm always concerned. I was concerned when Nicki Minaj said it. I'm concerned when Christina Applegate. People that you think actually have taste. I'm going to leave that alone. Shut up. No, Andy, you need to explain this to me. She is my favorite housewife of all the franchises. Andy, call me now. You don't have my number, but you know, I love you. She knows she didn't want him to call her. She's like, I know you don't have my number. She is your favorite, Christina Applegate. You're our favorite from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. I love her Netflix series as well. But regular Robin, because she's heard the rumors too that Robin has been fired. Remember, the Jasmine brand reported that Robin had been fired as a full-time housewife. She may come back next season as a friend or maybe a guest. So she's heard the word on the street that regular Robin is not coming back. Robin has yet to confirm, production has yet to confirm that Robin is coming back or not. But I told you, I heard some stuff from sources. Jasmine Brand reported this as well. We have not heard anything. I'm thinking that we will hear official word once we see, or at least right before part 3 of the reunion. But based off this reunion and Juan Dixon not showing up for Robin, I think that may have been the last straw for production. I think it's terrible, though, Robin. You should be very upset with Juan Dixon, your roommate of 20-something years. You should be very upset because I think if Juan showed up, it would have secured her position for next season. Anyone else agree? I think if Juan had showed up, it would have secured her position for next season. But because he didn't show up, they were like, okay, we're done. We're done. He's not willing to show up. You have nothing else going on. Honestly, I'm surprised that Candace made the announcement when she did it, but I've said that before. I think she wanted to get ahead of it. I also said during our recap this week that when Giselle said to her, get out, and she was like, I'm out. I was like, oh, did she tell us then? Did she decide then that she was not going to return? Oh. So the other sticky point before we get into our callers that I wanted to bring up was the colorism conversation that was brought up. Because like I said, Chris Bassett and Dr. Wendy Asefo were my MVPs of the reunion. Especially when Dr. Wendy broke down. She's like, well, let's take us out of the situation. If we were talking about racism and the phenomenon of, although you may not consider yourself racist, why don't you ask the question, why do you believe that I am? And I thought that was so poignant. And then when Karen said, we are the perfect women to have this conversation, honestly, I would have said that if you guys had handled this conversation with colorism last season, better, then I'm like, yes, let's do that. But I love the fact that Dr. Wendy says, unless you are equipped to have this conversation, we cannot have this conversation as a group. We cannot have this conversation as a group. But we've been saying that. There was something else Andy Cohen. So we found out in this reunion why exactly Candace did not want to invite Drew Sidora again to perform with her. Basically, it was because maybe Drew had reached out to a business person, partner of Candace, and Candace thought that Drew should have reached out to her first. Candace wasn't very clear on what happened there. This is what we were to piece together. Andy Cohen wanted to bring up Katy Perry and Taylor Swift's beef. This is why we need a black host. Come on now. Come on.
Lies! The lie!
Look, no, come on now. Could you imagine if we had a black host? Because then they would have, first of all, they probably would have pressed Candace to be more clear in regards to a better host, anyway, I should say, would have pressed her to be more clear in regards to what happened. Tell us everything. Did she take your dancer? Did she take your manager? What did she do? But then look, and I'm not saying, because I understood exactly what Andy was talking about in regards to the Katy Perry and the Taylor Swift thing, because I am the king of pop culture. Come on now. I'm the king of pop culture. So I knew that story, but even all those ladies on the cast, they were like, what? And I'm sure some of the people in the audience were like, huh? What are you saying, Andy? What are you saying? Again, the only reason why Andy Cohen continues to host these reunions, even though everyone says during this Potomac reunion, he seems so checked out, not interested, wanting to move on. When Karen checked him at the top of part 2 about we should not be talking about Jeremiah. He's going to see this one day. We need to move on. He's like, we've moved on. Yeah, but you brought it up. Andy wants to stay at the host because it's an ego thing. Period. Why else would Andy want to host every single reunion on the network? Oh, because it's in his contract? Okay, Andy does hold some sort of influence and power over at the network. He could be like, I don't want to host it. I will continue to host all these other things, but I don't want to host particularly these black cast reunions because I am not the proper person as a white man to moderate these conversations, especially when we're talking about colorism. And then to brush over that and just to move on without really digging into it. Again, they failed us again, this reunion. They failed us again. All right. Anyways. Oh, I saw a couple people say, TA says, Andy is too messy and biased. Our TikTok fam says that said the same thing. Hold on, if I could scroll down. Bree says Andy is very biased though. And that's the problem. That is part of the problem. And I know, look, I appreciate that you guys want me to host reunions, but no, I review the show, and I still want to be able to continue to review the show and drag. Oh, I want to drag. So I don't want to host the reunion, to be honest with you. But they have so many black women that work under the NBC Universal umbrella that they could utilize to host this reunion. And what they could do is maybe have a couple of different hosts, switch them out, do something. Andy has a lot going on. He needs to take a break, at least from hosting. And again, why are you even hosting the Married to Medicine reunion? You're not even the producer of that show, or the Traders reunion. Like, these are the moments where he could rejuvenate and take a break. All right. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats, and then we're going to get into some callers for those that are just joining us. We're doing a special Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2 call-in recap so that you guys can share your thoughts, because we had a special guest, DJ Richie Sky, here this past week. Be sure to check that out because we had a really great conversation. A lot of you loved it, so thank you so much for being here for that. Thank you so much, Noda Queen, for the super chat. She says, Robin proved Kandi right by attempting to malign Chris with false allegations to distract from her absent roommate. But Kandi's crazy. Okay, exactly my point. Because you proved why she would think, you proved why Candace would possibly think that you would try to malign her husband while protecting Juan Dixon. You were so pressed to continue to ask questions about this screenshot. What about the screenshots? I didn't even hear about no damn screenshots. Did you pay the money to watch the interview? You probably did. Well, how about you go figure out what your other man's doing? Here's the thing. I don't need Robin to do that because we know what it is. That's not a real relationship. It's a relationship of business. And here's the thing. That relationship of business is a bad one because now you've lost your job, allegedly. You lost your job. The main job that you had that was paying all the things. Martha, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can also support the channel just by liking the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting us. As always, don't forget you can hear an audio version of our live show and additional special podcast episodes on the Kempire podcast, on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. So be sure to subscribe there. And don't forget, today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Rose Forever. Mother's Day is right around the corner, so be sure to check out roseforever.com. And don't forget, we got you a discount. Kempire 40 for $40 off. And for free worldwide shipping, use the discount code Kempire. You can use both discounts. So that's just a whole lot of money that you're going to be saving on roses that will last you at least a year. At least a year. Mother's Day is right around the corner. But like I said, maybe you just want some beautiful flowers for the springtime in your home. They will make you feel better. More information on Rose Forever is available in the description. All right. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe says, hold on. Question. Is King of Pop Culture greater than the You are so messy, Joe. Why is Joe so messy? Look, and if you meet Joe, Joe doesn't look like he's that messy, but he asks so many messy questions, and I'm just going to leave it there because I'm not that messy. Okay? I'm not that messy. Hey, Jeanette. Jeanette says, come to West Palm Beach. I actually would like to come to West Palm Beach. We're still trying to figure out, still trying to figure out the schedule for Florida, where we're going to be in Florida. So stay tuned for that. But I do want to get into some callers. So let me switch this out and let's get to some callers. Let's get to some callers. All right, let me turn this off. There we go. All right, callers, I appreciate all of your patience. Those are members waiting backstage. Live chat, we have almost 1,900 people watching on multiple platforms. Like the video if you haven't already. Retweet the video if you haven't already. Jennifer, thank you so much for becoming a member. Jennifer Kennedy, thank you for becoming a member. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let me see. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, Dr. Wendy is not here to educate the rangeless. Oh, yeah, because she said you have to have range to have a conversation about colorism. She says it's unfair. I hope she leaves the show and moves on with her lovely family. RHOP doesn't deserve her. I think Wendy will be coming back next season. I would be surprised if Wendy doesn't come back next season. I definitely think that Wendy will be coming back next season because I think I really want to know, and I guess no one has asked Candace why exactly she decided. Like, what was the reasoning behind not coming back? I don't believe her statement that she's just taking a break. I don't know if I believe that statement because when will she come back? Look, I don't know. Thank you, Tia. Theo says, come to Houston. We're working on it. Stay tuned. All right. Let's get to some callers. Shout out to our members. If you're a member of the channel, you can become a member at teamkempire.com/join. Members of the channel, we've posted the call-in link on the community tab. Our member stage is full backstage. So once you've said your thoughts, please drop out so that other people can call in. All right. So let's take our callers. All right. Let me move this over. All right. Leah is first in line. So let's bring up Leah. Leah, what's going on?
Hey. I had a day off. I want to wish all my Muslim brothers and sisters a happy Eid Mubarak.
Yes.
My school district was off today, so I have the privilege and the honor to be on this live. However, I'm very upset with the fact that this Potomac season has really let us down. I haven't watched it. Most times I wasn't watching it. I only watched the. Well, you know what? That's a lie. I'm on the TikTok with
Oh,
you.
yes.
And you make it very enjoyable. As far as me watching it on my own, I just didn't have any interest in that.
Mm.
I the colorism is still prevalent in that cast. I don't care what anyone says, and they need someone like a Yolanda Van Zant to really tear into them and really pick them apart. I'm serious because there's denial there, and we cannot not deny. And I believe that Candace is not coming back because of the hostile work environment. Can you imagine being on that cast, being ostracized, because not necessarily your slick talk and your attitude, but you can definitely see there's a line of demarcation between, oh my goodness, between a the lighter complected women and the darker complected women, and that can't be comfortable.
Yeah.
That can't be a comfortable situation. I enjoyed you and DJ Richie Sky. You guys got to do that more often, and they really need a reboot for that show
Okay.
because they need some people in there who are going to be more equitable, more righteous. I would love to see Wendy come back. If they're going to really, that could be a storyline. The colorism, they need to bring that into and do things that are going to be more community based, more just bring awareness to the viewers on how they handle that.
No.
Also, and I'm gonna say this and go, Karen, she needs to, if she comes back, which she probably will next year, she's got to hit that DUI situation head on,
Mm.
and not humana,
Mm.
but really just say, listen, that post that she did, that was bogus. That she should have just came straight. I understand when you're grieving, things happen, but don't take a Uber,
Yeah.
okay?
Period.
And stay off the road when you're drunk. That's grief is not an excuse for
Nope.
you to drive drunk.
Nope.
And and it's going to be interesting to see if Giselle gives her the same grace that she gave Giselle during her father's death. So that's all I have to say. It should be an
Okay.
interesting season. We need new people. Ashley needs to go. And I love your 30. Last thing, I love your
Leah.
30. Your recap. Your recap on your 30 seconds recap,
Yeah.
and how NECA needs to go and Ashley needs to go because they contribute nothing.
Cool.
Love ya.
Thank
Bye.
you, Leah. Take care. I literally forgot to talk about NECA and Ashley.
And scene.
Someone said, I forgot, maybe it was on TikTok. Someone said NECA was given all kinds of ad libs during these reunions. Girl, now I can see why, word on the street, you were fired too. All right, let me get to the other calls because we have quite a few people backstage. We have Alex backstage. Alex, I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know you haven't. I've been wrapped up with. I haven't talked to you. I miss you guys. Sorry. Let me just clear my throat.
Okay.
I haven't talked to you guys in forever. I've been working. I've been doing all the things. I have been able to catch the
replay,
the recaps, the replay. I loved seeing you go live with DJ Richie Sky. That was such an amazing recap.
Thank you.
Listen, I'll start this off with the least interesting, the most interesting people. NECA. Let's start with you, my neck, my back. Listen, Holy Ghost fire to you. Holy Ghost fire to LeBay's BBL. I'll say it every single time. Holy Ghost fire to everybody involved with you, including Ike. See you at the unemployment office in Bethesda. Anyways, let's go to Robin. Oh, Robin, you're going to have to give me a second because I'm about to unload on you, Robin. You should be scared. I would not be talking about another person's husband. Meanwhile, Juanita is off running around all the way through Georgetown. Juanita, he's wandering around Georgetown. He's going all around, sleeping in other people's beds, spreading it open, wide open, paying for hotel rooms. Baby, you need to be figuring out what your husband is doing instead of somebody else's husband when it's been proved that somebody else's husband, that was false. With your husband, it's been proved that it was most likely true, baby. Let's get that together. You are on the slow side. It shows. You're very dull. You're very slow, especially when you believe your husband about him cleaning out his phone. That makes absolutely no sense. No man ever cleans out their phone because nobody cares enough to clean out their phone and delete a bunch of text messages. You know it's a lie, and you're being dull and slow and obtuse, and I hate it for you, baby. I hate your life for you. It must be miserable. Now, Giselle.
No, your time is up, Alex. We have a long line.
Now, Leah got to go over.
She was a reminder to all of you guys that you're not supposed to. We have to be respectful to everyone. We try to get to everyone.
Okay. Can I call in again?
You can try.
Listen, I'm gonna copy Quad here. The people are gonna want me to call back in.
Goodbye, Alex. Don't forget who's the captain of this ship. I did like the wandering. That was funny. All right. We have Jenna backstage. We're going to bring Jenna up next. What's going on, Jenna?
Hello, Captain Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I was happy to see you and your brother Richie do the live the other day, or do the video the other day, but I'm also happy you were letting us call in because I have things to say, honey.
I know.
Now, just like Alex said, Holy Ghost fire on Big Sister Delusional and her barn in the woods. She's awful. Can't stand her. No grace for Giselle because she doesn't give grace to other people unless they are a particular hue. She manages to make up with all the light-skinned ladies that are on the cast, but she holds these horrible grudges against the ones that are not so light-skinned. I wonder why. Just like with Mia and how it's clearly rampant colorism with the fact that if she had all this going on, and she was a dark-skinned woman like Candace or Wendy, people would be calling her everything ghetto and messy and telling her to go to Love and Hip Hop, whoever, and all of this stuff, but they're not doing it. I wonder why. I'm not even gonna talk about Ashley and Nneka. I forgot about them already. I would love to see Wendy. This is not going to happen because I think Wendy does still have a place on the show. I like seeing her on my screen, and they have stuff to do, I feel like, with the platform still. But I would love to see her come back and do the colorism training sessions with them, like not be on a cast anymore. So be divorced from that. Obviously, this wouldn't work because Giselle wouldn't listen to her anyway. But she should do trainings with them on not just the colorism, but the unconscious bias. And that's the part that comes into it. And also, Giselle's a liar from the gates of hell. I don't believe that Dr. Wendy absolutely congratulated her. She absolutely congratulated her and her daughter and asked her about the sorority. Giselle is a loud liar. And that's it. That's all. And I'm gonna go because I don't remember I don't know if you remember when I called in before. I actually first started saying short and shady, so I'm gonna try not to go over my time too much.
Thank you, short and shady.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Jenna. We're trying to get to all the callers, guys. We're trying to get to all the callers, so please respect the timer so that because my thing, it's not about me. It's more about I try to get to everyone. Other channels will just be like, okay, I gotta go. We're not gonna take the rest of the calls. I'm trying to get to everyone. And right now, we dropped the call-in link for our members first. We will drop the call-in link for the general audience once we get to 750 likes. There's almost 2,000 of you here, so that should be easy. Okay. Passions, thank you so much for Super Chat. Passions says, I don't think Robin and Juan's relationship is for convenience. There's too many signs of verbal and emotional abuse. Well, I think that can be true because emotional and verbal abuse can happen in any sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Just saying. But you never know. Look, you never know. Hey, Rita. Rita says, Dear Kempire, I'm so happy you are doing this surprise live. Loving it so much. Can't wait for the callers. Thank you, Rita. We appreciate it. Rita's watching all the way from Germany. Shout out to our international folks. We appreciate you guys because I know it's getting late over there. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Rahina says, Hi, Kempire. Thanks for coming live today. You are making work easier. Yay. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love, calm, peace. Thank you so much for the super chat. Do we really care that Juan be giving Dixon? Juan be giving Dixon. You are terrible with the love, calm, peace. Juan be giving Dixon. All right, let's focus. Let me get back to the callers. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to share the live. This is a surprise live that we're doing in regards to part 2 of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 8 reunion. We're going to bring up RL next. Hold on. RL, are you there? You're muted, RL. RL Gatling. RL. We're going to drop you, RL. All right. L, we're going to bring you up next. L, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire and the mods in the chat. I just want to say, Kempire first, my perspective is a little different, so I hope we're still friends after all of this.
Of course.
And I'm very respectful to everybody about their opinions, even if I disagree. So
yes,
chat, don't tear me up. So as far as the Wendy and Giselle thing, I'm actually going to give this one to Giselle on the, I said this about your daughter, because one, they would have had the footage, and even if they didn't have the footage, they should have audio, like the fight. They should have still been mic'd because they're only speaking to each other while they're filming. So if until they can bring up something to counter that, I'm going to give it to Giselle. And I just want to say, as far as, because I don't really like to talk about a lot of colorism, I am the same shade as Candace on the show. But for this season, they weren't interacting with each other. So for me, I didn't really see that this season because they weren't engaging with each other other than that sit down with Candace and Robin. So everybody's kind of coming up with stuff or either going back to the previous season about the colorism. And I'm just saying, I did not see that outright this season. So, you know, I know people may feel differently, but that's just my perspective. And I hope people respect that. But until you could tell me an exact thing, like when Wendy said, they should have said, these are the exact moments where we feel that it's happening. I thought that was the perfect moment to do that, and they didn't.
Okay. All right, L. Thank you so much for calling in. All right. Speaking of L, we have L Michelle backstage. We have a lot of L's right now. L Michelle, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. And I'm going to piggyback off of what L said. They didn't because Andy didn't piggyback. It was just like, I thought you went to school for journalism, sir. What's happening here? Now, I initially didn't have any thoughts because I really feel about this season the way Robin feels about her marriage. I don't care, but like I love this show and I want it to be successful. Like I like most of the girls. Now, I feel like the person that needs to leave the show is Big Sister Green Eyes because I feel like once she leaves, I feel like there's an opportunity for these girls to make amends and fix their relationship. But if they're not going to get rid of Big Sister Green Eyes, we need to find another Big Sister because we need someone to. If they're going to be some people cowering down to Giselle, we need another girl that they're cowering down to, and it's not I'm about to call her the alcoholic lord. I love her though. The grand dame. It's not Karen. And then the Mia storyline. The only I never liked Mia on this show, and like if she made the show interesting this season, but I don't want this um made up storyline. Like I feel like it's made up. Like you're bringing us the BS. Was that the timer?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay, well, that's my time. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks.
Oh, wait, my birthday is Friday. Everybody wish me a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Shout out to anyone celebrating a birthday. Taurus season is slowly approaching us, but happy birthday to all the Aries. Okay. All right. All right. Wendy's backstage. We're going to bring Wendy up next. Wendy, what's going on?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Okay. One, Raggedy Robin. I'm not saying regular Robin. I'm saying Raggedy Robin. She is wrong for. It's just hypocritical how you don't care about your marriage, but you care about what somebody else's husband's doing. Okay, whatever. Pygmisha Neka. She is a Pygmisha because you know it's colorism. Come on, honey. You know it. You know it. But she just want to be picked so bad and be liked so bad, and it's just pathetic. And I want to remind people, Monique warned them and said she's going to come after y'all families next. And true enough, she came after Wendy's family. Then she came after Candace. And that's it. I love you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Take care. And Wendy did that and she still had 20 seconds to go. All right. Maybe we should save that 20 seconds for Alex. All right, we're going to bring up Toya next. What's going on, Toya? What were your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
I just want to say I think that Candace is leaving the series or leaving and not returning for next season because she knows that production, Andy, the network is Team Giselle. Based on the fact that, even when she was saying, am I making it up? Did she not say he made me? He made me. Everybody was so quiet. So to the last caller who said, well, there's not footage of what Wendy said. There's footage of what we all saw what Giselle said when she said he made me. And they try to act like they don't remember her saying that, which is a huge contradiction. If you watch One or the SVU, honey, there's a difference between he made me or he asked me. Come on, one implies SA or potentially, implies that. So that it was just so bad. I think Candace is leaving for her mental health because she's fighting a losing battle. She's not going to win. Giselle is the clear favorite, and it's really sad to see. She runs that house like she is Big Sister Green Eyes, and the other ladies are pledges, and she's not letting them into the sorority. What Wendy said makes perfect sense. I could see Wendy asking, is your daughter going to pledge, AKA? Duh, of course, is going to ask that. No. I believe her on that. Have a good one.
You too. Take care, Toya. I believe Dr. Wendy, congratulated Grace. I don't think Candace or Dr. Wendy have any sort of malicious feelings towards any of the children of the people that they don't necessarily get along with. All right. All right. So we're going to bring up Adrian. Hey, Adrian, what's going on? Adrian, you're muted. Adrian. Oh, wait. Sorry, Adrian. No, I guess you must have dropped out. Hold on, Adrian. Adrian, there you are. What's going on, Adrian?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Yeah,
let me kick this other one out.
Let me just start with this, okay? Yeah. I've been light-skinned all my life. I know exactly what I'm looking at. These women are absolute colorists, okay? They are. And the thing that makes me mad about Wendy and Candace, they get right, and even Monique, They get right up to the conversation where they can call them a colorist and then they don't go forward. That's why this conversation is not going anywhere. They say something about colorism. Giselle and Rama say, oh, no, 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 that's not happening. And Andy says, okay, let's just move on. First of all, they should have, Wendy doesn't have to go into no long soliloquy and education about colorism. They don't need to be educated. They already know what it is. This should have been an example of them calling out the differences. Robin said, oh, when Nneka asked, why are y'all color? She said, oh, it's because every time we get in conflict with brown girls. No, 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 no. It's the fact that you can recover from an argument with Ashley, with Karen, but you can't seem to move on from one with Candace and Wendy. Karen sat up there and called Giselle a hoe, a broke hoe at that, from Hampton, said that she had spent time in a loony bin and that her box was on fire. And you're sitting up there holding this woman's hand. Ashley said and told the whole world that Robin had $25 in the bank and pressed up on you at her restaurant. But you could sit up there and be buddy with her. But with a Candace and Wendy, all of a sudden, you just can't seem to get past it for 3 seasons because of what? They told you to keep my husband's name out your mouth? I want to know why. And please, Robin, I'm sorry. I have to say this. Chris said, Giselle, can we talk privately? And she said, yeah, let's go in here. And then lied and lied and lied. That's what I'm talking about with them. Why are y'all not putting out actual examples, saying what it is? You got to put a woman like that back on her heels and make her explain herself. And they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And that is what is so frustrating about watching this whole thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
And did you see how their faces cracked when they said Eddie made $2 million?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
They took the Candy Burris route. You gonna throw shade at me? I'm gonna make it a business. Your man could never.
Whose man?
I'm so glad. Exactly what man? Because you ain't never had nobody behind you, Giselle. And then with Robin, I'm so glad Juan Dixon ain't here. Which Juan Dixon ain't never there.
True. Facts. All right.
Facts.
Thank you, Adrian.
All right, y'all. I gotta go back to class. I'll see you later.
Take care. Bye. Whew, and there it's been said. I forgot during our recap with DJ Richie, and I forgot this recap. But yes, congratulations to Dr. Wendy Asefo and Happy Eddie, because his Happy Eddie brand, we found out during part 2 of the reunion, made $2 million. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right, we're going to get to some more calls. Miss Esquire's backstage. Uh-oh. Hey, Miss Esquire, what's going on?
Honey, I don't have much to say because the way the previous caller just like laid it out in chapter and verse, preach, sister, preach. I will say I have given many examples in the chat to our other friend who said that there were not examples of colorism this season, and I hope that she'll take that into consideration. Again, we respectfully disagree here in these Kempire streets, but I did give a couple of examples. And also, colorism, like racism, is insidious and its effect can be felt long after the initial acts have happened. Let's just say that. Now, let me just say, I don't know why Robin would take this dummy assignment from whoever she got it from to go after Chris when you live in a glass house. I don't know why you would throw that stone. I don't know why you didn't give that over to Ashley, but her and Nneka are like lost and found during this reunion. So I guess she wasn't going to take the assignment either. Let me tell you also, if next season is going to be about Mia and her LLC, put me out of it. I don't want no parts of it. I don't care about her corporation, her partnership, none of that. Okay. And the fact that she is willing to be with this man who is questioning the legitimacy of one of her children when she says her child is her husband's child, and that's who you want to ride off into the sunset with. Okay, Mia, just keep it off my screen. Last, I'm just going to say this about Giselle. Giselle has to be one of the most diabolical reality stars I've ever seen on television, and how she has endeared herself to production should be studied in business school, because this woman, somebody told her to get activated for this reunion, and because she does not know how to shade, she does not know how to read, she only knows how to be mean and cruel. And the fact that she could keep her job after this is ridiculous. And yes, she has had a different man on every single season of this show, and none of them have sat behind her at a reunion. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut up. But why did we find out that she's dating somebody? Because Mia told us. Again, another example of her never bringing her real life to this show and it being acceptable to her employers. Okay, I might call back in again like Alex. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Well, we love when everyone calls in, but we are trying to get to all the calls. But if you do call back in, fine. All right, I'm going to drop the call-in link for the general audience. General audience, we have almost 2,000 of you here for our special Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, season 8 reunion live, part 2 of the recap, because we didn't have callers this past week because we had a special guest. which was a fun live. So be sure to check out our special guest. DJ Richie Sky was here this past week talking about the part 2 of the reunion. Let me just say thank you because we did get a couple of super chats. Christopher, thank you so much for the super chat. Christopher says, this last caller, L, is the reason why this show will continue to pander to the GEB witches. Look, let's not attack other people for their opinions because I'm sure there are other people that share that opinion. Zoe, thank you so much for super chat. Zoe says the fact that Candace has not brought up Juan hot mic and asked for the marriage certificate is a sign that she was going easy on her, and Robin couldn't see it. And I'm officially over Robin and Giselle. I mean, there's so many examples of what she could have said. And facts. Angelica, thank you so much for the super chat. Angelica says, I think Candace saw that they never gonna stop the attacking her husband. So maybe for her mental and emotional health, she quit. By the way, the last video of Dr. Wendy's show was good. Oh, what was her last show? Because her stuff comes up on my Explorer page. Princess Gabby, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday to anyone celebrating a birthday this week. Hope you guys have a blessed one. Okay. Let me get back to the callers because we have quite a few backstage. And like I said, I'm going to drop the call-in link for the general audience in a second. Let me get to a couple more callers. Let's keep liking up the video. Let's get to 800 likes. We have quite a few people backstage. I'm going to bring up Mo Reality next. Mo Reality, what's going on?
Oh my God. Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I am in two places at once. Okay. I am over here and I am watching the Apple River trial. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so Giselle, Jesus Christ. She had two opportunities to be relatable. One with her children, that was such a relatable story. And then with her father, like I really wanted to connect with her. My mom passed in July. And a week later, my grandmother. And then the day after my mom's funeral, an uncle.
Wow.
So it has been unbelievably tough, and I've been finding things to distract myself with that. I said that because it really, to me, should have brought some sort of warmth to her that I didn't get at all. Like, I was sitting there like, come on, Giselle, like, you really are the problem. Like, she was so cold. And even when she was talking about her father, it was like, but the way that she came at Candace, it just canceled everything out for me. Like, Candace was like shedding tears for you because that's something that she's close to her parents. Imagining that really got to her. But I don't want to go over my time more. I did just want to pretty much share that. Also, I do want to comment if I can. I don't think Giselle is friends with Mia because of her complexion. I think Giselle sees Mia's star power.
Oh.
And I think that is why she's chumming it up with Mia so tough. But yeah, that's it. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mo Reality. Take care. All right. Let's get to some more callers. We have Shannon backstage. We're going to bring up Shannon next. Shannon. Oh, wait, hold on. Shannon, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I wrote down all of my points because I didn't want to lose track of anything. The first one is more than likely I probably will not watch the next season. I just think this show has just become so incredibly heavy and dark. I do feel that Candace made the decision to leave the show after, like, either going into the reunion or after the reunion, because I do think that she feels like things are just not going to change, and what does she need that in her life? So I do think that she made the decision to leave the show. With Mia's storyline may have saved the season, but I just feel like it's so problematic, and I just think it's messy, and I'm not really interested in seeing that.
No.
I think NECA will probably come back, even though I don't feel like that she deserves it. If they bring her back, I think it's for her to redeem herself, so I hope she takes advantage of that if she does get another opportunity. In terms of the colorism, if they have to bring somebody in to basically counsel this group, then just cancel the show. Because you have really just ruined it for everybody. I just think it's horrible that we're even at this place. Giselle needs to remain on the hot seat. If she doesn't bring anything, she has got to go. And then again, lastly, it breaks my heart to see what has happened to the show because I really did like it when it started, but it has just become so messy and problematic. So thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. I just dropped the call in link for the general audience. Again, please respect the timer so that we can get to everyone. Miss Bernice is backstage. You're going to bring her up next. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, what up, though, Kempire?
How
How
are
you
you?
doing today, baby? I'm fine. Um, this show.
Love the big
Okay.
pause with Miss Bernice.
Yes, because you know what? It's 2 points. I don't like the whole side chick lifestyle being okay with them galvanizing behind Mia. You said on national TV that your son parenting is wrong. That's your child. And he's a minor. And you just put that out there like it was okay. And it's not okay. And you've been creeping with this man since you've been married. So you took old man from his wife because you was creeping with him. And now you get married to him. You get the ring. And you've been creeping with high school boy for the longest. And now you want to be rewarded with that while everybody, oh, poor Mia. No, that's not right. And, and with the only thing I say with the people that you should bring in, I said Amanda Seals and Yana Van Zant. Amanda Seals is intellectual. She got her master's in sociology, so she knows this. And Yana Van Zant can be on the emotional and spiritual side and check these chicks.
Okay. All right, Miss Bernice.
Okay.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
calling in.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Woo, damn, we got to bring Ayanna and Amanda in. Woo. It might be right to just end the show. All right, we need all this healing. Izzy, we're going to bring up Izzy next. What's going on, Izzy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yes. I'll try to keep it quick. So one of the things about the colorism conversation is I feel like we're so willing to label people as opposed to really being able to have the conversation about the systems that perpetuate colorism and how unconscious bias can play a part in that. And so I really do think it's a missed opportunity to not both educate the cast and the audience about the real causes of colorism, what it looks like. Because I think we're all having, a lot of us anywhere, myself included, are having the conversation without really understanding what colorism is, what the nuances are, and how it really shows up in our behavior. And so I'd really hope that Bravo could take a cue, and if they do want to move forward, bring in somebody who really is educated in this field and can help educate all of us, including the cast.
Agreed.
And so that being said, I really do think that, and I'm team nobody. I'm team we don't know these people. So, I really do, but I really do have to give it to Candace and Wendy. Candace has typically never taken accountability for her part in things, and I really felt like she showed a good faith effort to do that in this segment of the reunion. And the last thing I'll just say is one thing to keep in mind is that Giselle's behavior in this segment was inexcusable. However, one thing people need to keep in mind is that depression can show up as anger and irritability. And given that she just lost her father, I do think that that's something that can that folks should at least keep in mind. But that said, oh, by the way, you can still get those hats from Robin. She is still selling them.
The embezzled hats? Okay. Thanks, Izzy.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye. I wore my hat yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? All right. We're going to bring up Daph next. Hold on. Daph, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I don't have a whole lot. First, I truly enjoyed the recap with DJ Richie Scott. I've been dying for the two of you to get together for the longest.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And I just wanted to share, Karen has a good heart, but I think Karen is so, she wants such a different face for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So when she did say, well, I think if there's any group of women to discuss that, it's this group of women. In her heart, I think she knows that's a crock of malarkey, okay? It's a crock of crap. I love the way that Wendy shut that down and addressed it. It was excellent the way she did it. Kudos to Dr. Wendy. And with Candace, I think she's taking a page out of Monique's book. She's realizing the toxicity, and it's very ironic because of what happened between the two of them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But she's taking a page out of the book. Monique stepped away because she put herself and her family first, and that's all.
Thank you, Dav. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. This is why I love when you guys call and you give a different perspective. And you make me continue to work on the fence. I was like, you know what? Like, you know what? All right, we're gonna bring up Danielle next. What's going on, Danielle?
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna scratch everything I had to say at first because I just got finished watching this with my mom.
Oh.
And I watch your show and I discuss it like the shows with her for her older generation perspective. She made me remember a few things. One, she watches this show for the entertainment. She said, you and your friends on YouTube, you guys get too involved, you're too attached to it, you get all emotional. Respectfully, older lady, I get that. But when I asked about the colorism piece, she reminded me, and I kind of got emotional how Robin did. Y'all all know I'm high yellow. My mother never passed the brown paper bag test. So she had to remind me of that. She also reminded me in our conversation that people used to think she was my nanny. So I feel I can hear what everyone is saying. I never understood light skin privilege or even colorism for a long time until all this stuff became a conversation. So because I wasn't raised like that, and my mother said it, she was like, you were raised by two brown skinned people. We didn't raise you like that. They couldn't. They don't understand light skin privilege. They don't understand, they understand colorism, obviously, but they don't understand the other parts of being light skinned.
Yeah.
And she and I are having this conversation. She's just like, she heard someone say that they need to bring in specialists. She was like, no, the specialists that need to come in, it doesn't need to be Wendy. It doesn't need to be anyone famous. It needs to be someone very neutral who's educated on it.
Yeah.
Someone who has the DEI, the person just said the unbiased, unconscious biases hit the nail on the head. It might be a thing that you're not realizing you're doing, which is why Robin should have said, well, what examples do you have of me being a colorist? And I think that's where the conversation should start. But I told you guys this before. Kari that calls in, she and I had the conversation, and I had to shut her down because she wasn't open to hearing what I was saying. I think the reason why the conversation becomes uncomfortable for these ladies on the cast, and I'm only thinking based on my own experience, when you, as a light-skinned person, sometimes we're kicked back when we voice our own opinions about how we feel like we're treated, because people instantly think that because we're light-skinned, it's already a privilege. And that might not always be the case. You might be mean to me because I'm light-skinned, but that's how I receive it. And allow me the opportunity to say that to you, brown-skinned girl, as my sister. Don't just knock me and shut me down because I'm like, oh, you're privileged. You don't understand. You can't say this. No, I can, because I have feelings too, and my words, your words hurt me, and my words matter. So the whole range, Wendy hit that nail on the head. But everyone has to have the open ear and heart to hear what the other person is saying. And I've discussed this with my light-skinned girlfriends. Sometimes we feel like we're in a space where we can't speak up because we're going to get shut down. Oh, you can't say that because you're light-skinned. Well, no, don't do that to me. Hear what I have to say, receive it. And then also, these women need to also listen to hear and not listen to respond. They're so quick to freaking respond that it irritates me. I'm going to go now because I'm getting emotional again.
Thanks, Danielle, for calling in. All right. We're going to get to some more calls, guys. If you're just joining us, don't forget you can hear an audio version of our live show and special episodes in the Kempire podcast. I will be including the callers because this live show really is more about the callers than it is about my perspective. So, and I like the fact, and for those that may be new to the channel, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with each other. But what we can agree on is that we will be respectful of each other's opinions, no matter if we agree or disagree. All right. All right. So we're going to bring up Sharon next. Hold on. Hey, Miss Sharon, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm cold in Missouri.
Is it cold in Missouri?
Yeah, and it was hot yesterday, so go figure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Saturday is supposed to be 80 degrees.
Oh, gosh. It's weather. It's weather.
Yeah, that's what happens in Missouri.
No.
Yeah. But I just called in to let you know I was in those IG streets.
Oh, okay.
And I look at everything. Sometimes I stop and sometimes I don't. And they had Reasonably Shady on IG. And so I just looked into the comments to see how many people actually, listen to it, the show.
Yeah.
And so, but there were people that were commenting about the reunion. And this one lady said that Robin had the audacity to question Chris about, that lady or whatever. And Juan wasn't even at the reunion. Robin never responds on IG, but she did on that comment.
Oh.
And Robin said that she had the right to question what's his name? Chris, because he tried to get her fired from the show.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why all the questioning.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Sharon, for giving us the tea. I appreciate that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, Miss Sharon. So Robin feels like she had a right because Chris tried to get her fired. Well, shouldn't your husband be behind you fighting that battle for you? Your roommate? Just saying. Anyways. All right, let's get to some. We have quite a line. We've already dropped the call-in link for our members on the community tab here on YouTube. We've also dropped the call-in link in the chat for the general audience. Once we round out the callers, then I'm getting out of here because it's almost dinner time. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 Reunion Part 2. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts. But as always, we do not moderate adults in the comment section. So please do not be under everybody and their mama's comments trying to reply or be hateful to them because you will be blocked. Okay? Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. We also had a couple of super chats, so let me get to those first before we get to some more callers. Temmie, thank you so much for the super chat. Temmie says, maybe the current Housewives format 5 to 8 ensemble no longer works. Cast too aware and produce. Fans too invested. There is a reason why Traitors and the other reality shows are getting much love versus Housewives. Points are being made because we don't have to delve deep into people's lives or it's a game. Even though people do, look, shout out to the Big Brother fans because they get very invested too. So, I don't know. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, Candace and Monique have more in common than they ever realized. They were weaponized against each other. Giselle backed Candace that she was attacked, not that she was in a fight. Big difference. And Candace was hesitant in part 2 of the reunion to even say that Giselle had her back during the Monique situation. And she says she doesn't believe that Giselle was truly, intentionally authentic and was authentically supporting her in that moment. She now thinks that Giselle was only doing that because of her hate for Monique. What do you guys think? All right, just putting it out there. All right, April's backstage. We're going to bring April up next. What's going on, April?
Hi, good afternoon or evening, chat and Kempire. My birthday was Sunday, so shout out to all
Happy
my
belated
Aries people. Thank you. So I think that they should either really get it together or scrap the whole show because I was just infuriated and I didn't even watch it because I'm just like, this is a hot mess. Regular Robin is not an Aries because yes, we may have our moments, but we are not that dense. We are not that dumb. We are strategic and we like to think things through. You're not thinking, I'm not going to get on national TV and embarrass myself behind a man. No, ma'am, no green eggs and ham, no turkey. I do not like. I have lost a parent and I've dealt with people reaching out from people who don't like me, vice and versa. So I've still been gracious enough to accept that. But listen, pardon my French, HEL, double hockey sticks, because hell would be hot. And I would not care if her parent went to the other side because since you want to accuse my spouse of SA, and as a person who has experienced SA, you're full of crap. Don't do that, okay? Like, ma'am, we can take it outside real quick if that's what you really want to do. Yeah, and that's it. I hope everybody enjoys.
April chose violence today. Okay, thanks, April. Bye. All right, we're going to bring up Maya next. Maya, what's going on? What were your thoughts on this reunion?
Hey, I wrote it all down so I don't go over. Hopefully this works.
Thank you.
Okay. 1, the paper bag crew only cares about being called colorist and not combating colorism, unintentional or not. Sounds familiar to how white people react to being called racist. 2, NECA speaks to Ike like she's Joe and he's Mike, and the rent is due. Anyways, number 3, Robin is cooked, just like her hat biz, even though it's still up and running allegedly. Candace should have said, I 100% don't care. Number 4, Dr. Wendy is right. None of them are intellectually tall enough to ride these convos. Although I will be weeping in the bushes, no Ayanla, please. A seasoned academic is preferred. And then last, Mia should help Ashley turn that Splenda into sugar so she can quit being Rumpelstiltskin's podiatrist. Okay, I made it under time.
Thank you so much, Maya.
You're welcome.
Bye. All right. We're going to bring up Joe next. Hold on. Joe, what's going on?
Not much. Happy National Siblings Day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it's also National Erase Self-Negativity Day today. So hopefully we're all doing that. Now, I low-key felt gaslit, last episode. But I think mostly I also give production a side eye. They made their bed picking Giselle over Candace with the edits they made this reunion and the season in general, with their willingness to let this light-colored fragility pester, from the Green-Eyed Bandit saying how they're so hurt being accused as colorists. I just think it's irresponsible from production's end to not show an appropriate and balanced conversation about the topic. It's really not just for production, it's just NBC Universal in general. I actually would not be surprised if the same producers gave Candace an ultimatum to swallow her ego and engage her buried beef with Giselle for next season. It can be Eric Fuller there. Fuller though, since he admitted he doesn't do anything. When Giselle said "get out of here," I definitely felt Candace when she empathically said "I'm out."
Yeah.
Especially if she realizes that she's not in a psychologically safe space for her to be herself at work. So that's all I have to say. And lastly, hail to the king of pop culture. Yeah.
Bye, Joe. You're so messy. Goodbye. Speaking of, what I wanted to bring up, which we haven't talked about a lot in regards to NECA. Oh, damn, NECA. Oh, NECA. Oh, whoa. The one moment that she had backstage in regards to, I felt like Ike, her husband, was trying to defend her. She's like, I don't want to have to speak up for you, but I will. And she's like, you better not say anything. You better be, or I'm going to send you wherever a Juan Dixon is. But we've seen her countless times throughout the season speak crazy to him. Even Miss Esquire says here in the comment section, listen, NECA talks crazy to that man. And honestly, I feel like he's nothing but supportive of her. But at every turn, she's always just coming at him. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are we doing that? Tyrese, thank you so much for this super chat. Tyrese says, I just want to remind us all that the fight still has to be addressed in part 3. Woo, child, this is a lot. Right? And we have to talk about the situation between Dr. Wendy Acefo and NECA. In part 3, we have a lot to cover next week. Hence why I wanted for us to do this live recap today, because I know you guys are going to have a lot to say come part 3. So Henny Talks, thank you so much for the super chat. It's crazy that Andy's sick that Andy's sick of the women not making up, but he won't press Jiz, the head perp. I heard she's sleeping with someone higher up in Bravo. Don't be just saying stuff like that. I don't know if I believe that either. Honestly, I don't know if I believe that either, but you never know. You never know. Chanel, thank you so much for the super chat. Chanel says, yes, Giselle didn't like Monique and her 4 homes, so she supported Candace. And last season, she liked Dr. Wendy and her 4 degrees, so she supported Mia. She didn't like Dr. Wendy and her 4 degrees, so she supported Mia. Thank you, Chanel, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Dr. Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat. Dr. Sarah says, speaking of colorism, doesn't making Green-Eyed Bandits your only group moniker give Blue Vein Society? Didn't they form a club that showed a preference for features associated with whiteness and lighter skin? Dr. Sarah, hold on a minute. Here's the thing. I cringe now when people refer to them as the Green-Eyed Bandits, because this is exactly what we're talking about in regards to, we don't realize the subliminal, just the message under that. But thank you for that. I'm going to read it again. Dr. Sarah says, speaking of colorism, doesn't making Green Eyed Bandits your only group moniker give Blue Vein Society? Didn't they form a club that showed a preference for features associated with whiteness / lighter skin? Whew. Look. Whew. Woo! All right. Kataman, thank you so much for the super chat. Kataman says, Bravo needs to get a handle on RHOP. Bravo has allowed Giselle and Robin to push castmates to quit or leave the show. Production / behind the scenes have allowed RHOP to be a hostile work environment. That's a serious allegation, y'all. You know, we've talked about this in regards to Bravo and the recent lawsuits. Just saying. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for another super chat. Miss Esquire says, this entire season for NECA has been a case study in talking crazy to the wrong person. Wendy, her husband, save that for your OBGYN and Ashley. The way y'all read people down, I can't. That should be studied. That should be studied. All right, let's get to some more callers, guys, and then we're going to wrap up our special live call-in recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 Reunion Part 2. We will be going live next week, Monday, at our usual time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. PST, for our final recap for the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 Reunion. Okay. All right. So let's bring up Anthony next. Anthony, what's going on?
All good here in Los Angeles, California. How are you, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Okay, so Potomac, if Jizz and Juan Dixon's partner are saying they are not colorists, then whatever, fine. However, you two are the definition of jealousy. The fact that you're going after Dr. Wendy, hello, doctor, and not to add, hello, Happy Eddie making $2 million, turning shade into cash, as well with Candace having a music career this year alone, going to the Billboard music events, Grammys events, and just the two of you have a podcast together that haven't even left the Bravo universe. Beyond. I'm gonna miss Candace next year, no lie. She does need a break though from this toxic mess. But side note, I know it says in your thumbnail, it says Pump Rules. Are we talking about Vanderpump Rules or no?
Oh, we can, because I talked about it at the top of this recap.
Okay, so I just based off the callers. So a little note, the show is dragging. I understand Ariana's point in terms of wanting her friends not talking to Sandoval. However, in this situation, you are doing reality television show. You can't tell your co-stars, co-stars to not talk to their fellow co-star on the show. Of course, they would have to film with him. I don't see this making sense in the real world. As a friend, I would have never done this, but it is just ridiculous. One of them has to go. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thank you so much. Who do you think will go?
Well, of course, if they were smart, they would keep Ariana. She's more trendy, more likable. And Sandoval, he is building a little fan base, but it's not as massive as Ariana.
Oh,
there is something for him,
I'm
but
sure.
Ariana, I would keep to be thinking of the network, but that's just me. But Vanderpump wouldn't do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Anthony. Take care. All right. We're going to get to some more callers. We have quite a few people backstage. We're going to bring up Ree next. Hold on. Ree, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing?
Well, how are you?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Boston.
Yes, May 30th, y'all.
So all I'm gonna say is this: I think that Giselle just surrounds herself with people that she feels that are less than her. Like if you look at Robin, Ashley, NECA, and even the Grand Dame, she feels like they're beneath her because they don't have anything going on with their lives. So obviously she's jealous of Wendy and Candace and even Monique because they had so much going for them and they had the husband. So they have what she never had. So their husband gave her what Jamal never gave her. And then look at their careers. Like Candace didn't have a career when she came on, but her career blew up. Look at Wendy. Wendy came in with 4 degrees. So what does she have? Nothing but a broken down house that she's been trying to fix since like what? The last 200 years. So she needs to really and the whole thing, well, she's a colorist. We know she's a colorist. Okay. It's not something brand new because her daddy was a colorist. And NECA came on the show the wrong way. You don't talk about nobody's mama. You don't talk about nobody's kids. You don't talk about nobody's parents. So that's why she really got dragged.
All right, Ray. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right.
Bye. Here's the thing. So when Robin on part 2 of this reunion said that she was uncomfortable talking about colorism, Giselle says, I'm not uncomfortable talking about color because Candace says, in her home, they talk about being black, they talk about racism, they talk about colorism. So she didn't realize that this group would be so uncomfortable talking about colorism. Candace also said during last reunion she didn't think the cast were colorists. We also have to keep in mind a lot of this conversation around colorism largely came from the audience. It didn't come from the cast. I think after probably seeing and hearing and experiencing, Wendy and Candace probably said, well, you know what? I think we do have a problem here. However, like I said, Candace said that she doesn't think that the casts are colorists. And they replayed that again in part 2 of this reunion. But hearing Giselle talk about saying that she is not she doesn't get uncomfortable talking about colorism. She said, I went to an all-black sorority. I did this, I did that. But it should be pointed out, and shout out to Ty's messy, hot messy history. Go check out that video. She did a video on that on Giselle's late father and his history. So she might want to unpack what she may have learned from her own parents, because based off of that alone says to me, well, if that was your guiding force, you do have a problem. You do have something to unpack. And Robin, I understand being uncomfortable talking about this, especially trying to understand and unpack colorism with audience people threatening your life and saying you're a color. I get the uncomfortability about unpacking it, but you should figure out why you're uncomfortable. Because if you're uncomfortable with having the discussion, it means that you need to learn more about it. That's what we've been doing here. Because remember, when we first started talking about colorism here on the channel, I was like, I'm not sure if I see it. But the more and more that we have not talked about it, the more and more that we've had conversations and panels. Remember, I was on a panel with Layla Lynn, Scotty by Nature, and a bunch of other folks, and we talked about it. So I sat there, I listened, I learned. I'm still learning. We're all learning. We don't have the range, as Dr. Wendy Osefo said, to lead a conversation, but we can be present and we can listen. And as Danielle said, who just called in, a lot of people are listening to respond and not listening to actually hear and learn. Okay. All right, let me get off my soapbox. Kari's backstage. We're going to bring up Kari next. What's going on, Kari?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to say, Karen, listen, when you open your mouth a lot of times, it just be sounds coming out, not words. And I'm so happy Wendy clocked you, because for you, you act like that you're neutral. You're not neutral. What you are is calculated. You don't want to be the one that's getting called colorist, but you also don't want to have the conversation because it would reflect on you and how you benefit from the colorism on the show. So I just hope you can take that calculation with you to the courtroom and help your lawyers get you out of that trouble that you're in right now. Andy, I think that it is very hypocritical of you to say how the women need to hold themselves accountable when you can't even hold yourself accountable for your own biases. The fact that you directed a question towards Chris when Giselle was sitting over there trying to convince people and his wife that he cheated on him, talking about, well, I thought you guys had made up. Why don't you ask her? I thought we made up. Why is she still doing this? Why was she on her podcast? And not Giselle, but Robin. You wonder why Candace thinks you're plotting, but you have more scrutinization towards her husband and his penis pics than the penis that you have that's wandering to nail shops and to hotel rooms and to laundromats with other different women. A penis that will rather be anywhere but behind you, having your back. You wonder why she thinks that you were plotting on her man? You're trying to convince her that he's cheating on her right now. Bye, y'all.
All right. Thanks, Kari. All right. Please do not refer to people's genitals. Thank you, everyone. Just a heads up. Okay. All right. Isabel, we're going to bring you up next. What's going on, Isabel? What were your thoughts?
Hi, Kempire. Oh my God. I'm so
Hey.
sorry. This is my first time calling. I'm from Montreal, and I've been watching you for like a while now, but I haven't mustered up the courage to call. So thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Montreal, what's going on? I got to get to Canada.
Please do. We'll love you here.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say is Real Housewives of Potomac is the first Real Housewives show that I started watching. I started watching when it first got released. So I have a deep emotional tie. I started in high school, and these women could be my mother's age, except for Candace and the failed sugar baby. So essentially, when I see these women speak, I see my peers' mothers speak, and I see the ignorance. I see the colorism that I grew up with as a dark-skinned woman, and I'm not the darkest on the dark skin scale, but I feel like the term brown skin is just used by dark skinned people with internalized colorism because they want to distance themselves from darkness. That's a separate conversation. But I'm Caribbean, I'm French Caribbean, and sorry, the nerves. I'm French Caribbean, and the thing is, this colorism is big in our community, in all culture. It does not get addressed. There's a caste system in Caribbean and Latin America that people do not talk about because it's so deeply ingrained into us. And I see this in these women also. I see people my mother's age raising kids who are going to make colorist comments to me. Well, kids back in the day. Now I just turned 23. But the thing is, okay.
Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Thank you. I just wanted to say the thing is that it's disappointing to see the reticence to have these conversations because some of them do have dark-skinned kids. They do like white women do. They associate themselves with the culture to disprove what is true, that they are colorist or that they are racist. They associate themselves so closely that even questioning them, they pull out their children, their husband, their HBCUs as credentials as to why, this could never be me. But that's the thing. Proximity does not mean that you don't perpetuate colorism, Giselle.
Isabel.
So anyways, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Isabel. Oh, that was a word. That was a word. Is it almost like, I have a black friend? Just saying. I love that. Our audience is so smart. I love this. Exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat. Exactly says, if Wendy stays on for season 8, she should carry a recording device. Every time she films, she needs her own footage. Can't trust production at all. I can't imagine. Here's the thing. I just want to take the whole television aspect out of this. You see what exactly just said. I know there are people that are in the work environment with toxic work environment, racist, sexist, misogynistic, and they're doing this exact thing. We just heard Christian Keys talk about this, and for years he's been taking around different recording devices because of harassment. No one should have to work in environments like that. So basically what exactly is describing here, the fact that we need to do something like that in this work environment is very much like what you guys have been saying in the comments and from the callers, that this is a toxic work environment. Thank you exactly for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, don't forget you can also support just by liking the video, just by heading on over to our podcast, Kempire, and giving us a 5-star rating because those numbers matter as well. Joe, thank you so much for another super chat. Joe says, guys, great news. The previously sold out G&A socks are now back in stock. Get them tacky socks now before it's too late. Why is Joe this way? Well, you know what? I'm grateful that Joe is not just dragging me. He drags everyone equally. Okay? Look out for Lauren. Thank you so much for the super chat. Lauren says, if BET Plus could do a sit-down conversation on colorism on last season of College Hill, then Bravo could have done the same with this cast. And Love and Hip Hop did the same thing as well. With all the backlash they got, they would have realized this isn't something to ignore. You're right. You're right. I can't believe that they haven't done something. Bianca, thank you so much for the super chat. Bianca says, thank you for this live camp. I had no money on Monday to send you 500 super chats. You don't have to send me super chats. I appreciate the super chats. Thank you guys, but you don't have to. Soon as I finish paying off my credit card, I'm becoming a member. Bianca, thank you. You don't have to. We appreciate anyone that comes here, liking the video, sharing us, telling a friend to tell a friend about what we're doing. That is support enough. All right. But thank you so much for the super chat. We do appreciate it. Retha, thank you so much for this. And shout out to those of you that send Cash App, Venmos, PayPals. Those things I see after the live. I don't see during the live. So I never get a chance to say thank you. And for those of you that send super chats during in the comment section, sometimes I will see it. Sometimes the notifications will come up. So that's when I will see it. But there are sometimes that I do miss it. So shout out to those of you. And thank you so much for the support. Retha says, hey, Kim, I would maybe give a different view on the colorism, but I'm South African. I don't want to step on toes. Instead, I want to ask, where can I drop the link for the Discord for the African housewives? Retha, you want to link me, or do you want to link the audience? If you want to link me, just hit me up on Instagram. All right. And if anything, you can always reach out to one of our King's Guards and they will get it to me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Look, like I said at the top of this, we like hearing everyone's perspective because we realize that internationally, the perspective on colorism might be different. The perspective on racism might be different. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. I'm learning every day. Doing this job really has afforded me a new perspective on a lot of different topics because I'm willing to hear people's perspectives. Doesn't mean I always agree, but I'm willing to hear. I'm willing to hear. Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. Lynette says, Candace has been assaulted twice while working. Why would she come back? Well, good point. Look, good point. I'm sure Candace will probably say it in whatever next interview that she does in regards to what made her decide not to come back. Let me get to we have a long line. We have a long line of people backstage. So let me get to everyone else. Doesn't mean for those that are calling back in, I see a couple of double callers. Doesn't mean we're going to get to you because I'm going to try and get to the people that have not had a moment to speak. Okay. All right. Juliana, we're going to bring you up next. What's going on, Juliana? What were your thoughts?
Hi, this is my first time calling in. I'm so excited.
Hey, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, what's going on?
Doing good. So let me jump right in. So when I think of Giselle, I think of Ravia Timms. She was the former wife of the now deceased mega church pastor Zachary Timms. And they actually were very close friends with Jamal Bryant. And their marriage also ended for the same reason. He had affairs and he died from a drug overdose. But she did have this awesome interview where she showed the vulnerabilities of what she went through during that time. And I was just like, this is what we expected from Giselle Bryant. And that's really unfortunate. So moving on, Giselle's father, when you really look at her father, Curtis Gates, you learn more about Giselle and just how he confronted Barbara Jordan and how he treated her. He really focused on making her be, you're not one of us.
Yep.
And really attacked her in that way. And so I feel like Giselle, instead of building up on her father's, she's repeating a lot of his mistakes and refusing to acknowledge that, instead of spreading rumors about Barbara Jordan's sex life, because she was a dark-skinned queer woman, you could understand we have a mutual, goal here. And he just never recovered from that, and he just left Texas completely. And it's just sad to see Giselle focusing on not letting go like her father did. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm sorry,
Juliana.
over, but bye.
No problem. Take care. All right. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I already know, because Giselle's father has passed, if any of those ladies were to bring up his history, she's going to be like, don't talk about my father because he's passed. But that history is important. It is influential on the way that Giselle has moved. Just saying. Let me just say thank you, Henny. Thank you so much for the super chat. Another super chat. Henny says, if Wendy stays, I hope Kiarna gets a flute, because I really think she would be able to handle the other ladies very well in Candace's place. I'm sure they're considering her. I don't feel like we got to see enough of Kiarna, because Kiarna came sort of late in the season. But Kiarna she got her business featured on the show, which I think is incredible for Kiarna. Let me continue. Let me get to the rest of the callers so I can get out of here, because I've been live for almost 2 hours. Okay. And the throat is getting parched. But if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2. Decided to do this recap. And also let me know your thoughts on Vanderpump Rules, because we did talk about it at the top of this live. Love, Calm, Peace is backstage. Love, Calm, Peace. Thoughts, opinions?
Okay, first, this is my first time calling live.
I know, but you're always in the chat.
I know. I just love you so much. You get me through my workday. I love Joe Mendoza and Alex, because yes, for the shade and Holy Ghost fire to those GNA socks, because who cares? Okay. Robin should be worried about one and direct her energy towards her husband and be that investigative with her husband. And for her to have a PR in her background is PR. Her spin on one and the hotel receipts was deplorable and did not give Olivia Pope. No wonder she doesn't actually work with PR, but okay. She's uncomfortable talking about colorism, but you're okay with your friend accusing someone of SA, but you're willing to cross that line. And how much money did Chris lose? The hate mail he received, and Candace, like Candace said, the line is always moving. Those type of accusations follow you for life, regardless of whether they're proven to be substantiated or not. It's crazy. I don't see how they don't feel like they are wrong for that and should have, why do y'all feel like y'all should not apologize for that? Because that is something serious. Giselle, yes, she should be fired. She always weaponizes her children against people. Oh my God, but she keeps people around that can be her lapdogs. And her house, yes, is giving Chateau charade issues. There's a whole list more that I could say, but I'll just get in the chat. And Aneka doesn't like her husband.
Oh,
I'm convinced.
damn. All right. Thank you, Love Calm Peace. Thank you
Oh
for
no,
calling in.
wait. And then, do you not remember? Am I the only one? I'm sorry. Am I the only one that remembers when Wendy and Candace did congratulate Grace at Ashley's little sea party or whatever it was at her home, and Giselle flat ignored her? Like, am I the only person? Do y'all remember that?
I need to go back.
Yes, look at it. Like, Giselle completely ignored her. So for her to say, and for a production to say that they didn't get that on film, yes, they did, because I remember that scene. But that's all I have.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. So let's get to some more callers. We have quite a few people backstage still. All right. Born to Win's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. What's going on, Born to Win?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, good. All right. So I love you and Richie together because I love Richie and I absolutely adore you. You know that. So
Thank you.
it was nice to see you two together. Okay. So I was watching Heavenly and Carlos King live in regards to Potomac, and he made a valid point. It's like he said that Giselle missed an opportunity with Candace when Candace was crying, showing emotions in regards to her father passing. And a lot of people were confused why Candace is crying, but I think one of the callers said earlier that putting yourself in someone's position, once you're a human, like I could be watching a TV show, once I can relate to it or I can maybe see myself in that person's shoes, I'm gonna react emotionally to it. And I think that's what that is what was happening with Candace, despite the way Giselle may feel for Candace at this moment. I think that, you know, once you're around someone for so long, you're gonna build some sort of, you know, rapport with them.
Yeah.
So when something affects them, it affects you. So I'm sorry, I just have to finish this here. Carlos King was saying that, you know, she missed the mark. And I said, in my mind, I'm commenting in my head because I was watching the replay. I'm like, well, that's what they're missing when they're missing what RHOA used to do. Because no matter what, Nene and Kenya, when that moment happened for Nene on the couch, when they were all wearing all white and the doctor was there, you can see despite how much they were going back and forth. And, you know, earlier, Kenya still got up, went over there, give her a hug, you know, try to talk her and just show that love and support for her in that moment. And Giselle could have received it that way a little bit, and that could have softened probably the rest of the reunion for them. And maybe that would have changed Candace's mind of not leaving the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Have a good day. I'm so sorry for the taking over.
No problem. Thank you so much, Born to Win, for calling in.
All right, bye.
I mean, it could have been an opportunity. Look, and y'all say Tauruses are stubborn. Maybe Virgo's a little stubborn. Virgo's stubborn? Apparently, it could have been a moment. All right. So let me, because Mercury retrograde is Mercury retrograding. While we still are still live and functioning, let me say thank you. Thank you, Monica, for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Thank you. You sent 2 super chats. Hold on. Thank you so much for the super chat, Monica. And Joe, thank you so much for another super chat. Joe says, with Giselle admitting that her core has not changed since being a first lady, I feel compelled to encourage everyone to pray for those church members that were exposed to that. Taria, hey, Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast, because she used to go to that church. Pray for healing. Amen. Monica, thank you so much for the super chat. Not enough people are talking about the fact that Nneka told Ike to get out and go to where Juan is. He definitely is cheating on her, and she knows it. That's what you thought? That's what... Damn. Oh, that's not how I took it. I just didn't like the way that she spoke to him. I didn't like the way that Nneka spoke to Ike this entire season. And she had the nerve to talk about Dr. Wendy and Happy Eddie's relationship. All right, let me get to the rest of these callers so I can get out of here because it's dinner time. Delon, what were your thoughts on this part 2 of the reunion? Delon? I can hear you, Delon. Drop out, Delon, and call back in. Excuse me. All right. Let me bring up AKB next. Hold on. AKB, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. So I watch your show because there's always at least one person that has the same perspective or specific opinion that I do. But I haven't heard anyone share this yet, so I had to come in.
Okay.
So I am from the South, like the South. And so when I was watching this show and Giselle decided to defend her not being colorist by using the example that she's in a sorority that we know in the South is stereotypically known for being colorist.
Oh.
Because stereotypically down here, when the darker skinned women want to join the same sorority that Giselle and Wendy are in, they have to come with a long list of accomplishments and exceed the what is it? They have to exceed everything. Like they just have to be super accomplished, these dark skinned women. But if a light skinned woman wants to get into this sorority, she has to meet the minimum requirements and be pretty. And this is the example that Giselle decided to use to defend herself against colorism by saying, hey, I'm in this stereotypically colorist sorority. God bless her. She's dense like her friend Robin.
Oh. Thank you,
Kempire.
AKB.
Love you.
Thank you. Take care. Ooh. All right. Honestly, when Giselle tried to defend, I'm part of a black sorority and all the elements that Giselle brings up to defend herself against the colorist comments, to me it sounds like, oh, I have a black friend. That's what it sounds like to me. But okay. O'Shea is backstage. We're gonna bring up O'Shea next. O'Shea, what's going on? What time is it in South Africa?
Hey, Kempire. It's almost 11. We are early today.
Oh, yes. What's going on?
So I came to say that this whole cast is starless, and it's time to wrap it up.
Oh.
I don't know where the show is supposed to go from here. If people get what they want, and I say Giselle, Robin, A, B, and C are not there, even if Candace was staying on the show, she and Wendy are not enough to carry the show. I mean, I like them and all, but they do not, like, what did they do individually this season? So I don't know where the show goes from here. It seems like the bridge has exploded and there's nothing left to pick up the pieces on. And just on the colorism conversation, just to be a bit of a devil's advocate there, if Candace is saying that the cast is not colorist, and Candace herself just a few weeks ago, she said she's going to be terrified of what color skin her kids are going to have.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is supposed to be moderated if she herself, who the audience are saying is a victim of colorism, is saying that there's no colorist on the cast. I do get that Bravo should step in and say, you know what, the audience feels the type of way we need to address this. But if on the actual cast, if they are not seen, if people who we are saying are the victims of it are not admitting to it, like I don't know how that is supposed to play out. I get like with Love and Hip Hop and stuff, these are things that happen on the show and people are admitting that this is a problem. But if she's saying that it's not a problem and the others on the cast are denying that it is a problem, I don't know. I don't get how that's supposed to be moderated. Maybe I have the wrong perspective on that, but I don't get how that's supposed to go. But thanks.
Thank you, O'Shea. Take care. All right. Let me just say thank you. Actually, I highlighted this comment because Jean's fellow soror here. While we embrace inclusivity, yes, there is still work to do in regards to the comments made about Giselle's sorority. All right, and I've seen a lot of the comments that you guys have. And of course, Replay Crew, be sure to share your thoughts in regards to any of the things that we've been talking about during our live recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 reunion. We also talked a little bit about Vanderpump Rules, so be sure to share your thoughts about that for those that may have missed that conversation. We've got Lee backstage. We're going to bring Lee up next. Lee, thoughts, opinions?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing good. I do have thoughts. I do have opinions. I wrote them down in bullet points. So
awesome.
First, bullet point number 1, Monique was right. Monique was right. And I want to really, I do feel bad for Candace, but there's something that I can't go 100% for because, and she couldn't see it then, I understand, because she was younger. and she probably just wanted to fit in. But you seen the BS. You seen the BS from when you first got on the show, and I actually rewatched the show from start to finish to see how we got here. And we got here because Monique has 4 homes.
Damn.
We got here because Monique has 4 homes. Isn't that crazy? Ever since Monique dropped that, Giselle has been a tyrant. They make up lies about other people's husbands or zoom in on other people's husbands' dramas to deflect from what they really have going on. And what they have going on is some BS relationships. They have Jamal. They have, what was his name? Herman. Now Juan. No. Rejected Robin should never, ever question anybody's relationship. You got to be kidding me. And 2 and 3, colorism does exist on this show. I'm light skinned, so I do see it. I see it in our community. And there nobody in our black community in America can say that there is not colorism. Because that's what the slave masters taught us. And we know that slavery has impacted us since since the beginning of time, since the beginning of slavery.
Yeah.
It has impacted us. It's in our culture. And until we recognize it, there's not going to be any change. I'm sorry. I'm so passionate about colorism because I'm both sides of the family. I have dark skin and I have light skin family. And to see the impact that colorism has, we are such a beautiful community. But until we get to the root of it, until we can unite, what do we have? How can we get anywhere? We need to unite, and the first thing that needs to happen is to address colorism. The first thing that needs to happen. So sorry to go over time. Thank you for always letting us speak our minds. See you soon.
Thanks, Lee. Take care. All right, we have, I think this is pronounced Shayla, but you'll correct me. Shayla? Is it Shayla?
Yes, it's Shayla. Hey.
Hey, how are you, Shayla?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What were your thoughts?
So first off, I'm a Brooke subscriber. I subscribed since y'all live last time.
Oh, thank you.
New. But first off, I wrote my stuff down too. First off, I'd like to say that Candace did congratulate Grace. Somebody else said it already, but yeah, Candace did congratulate Grace. And that's when the faces started because Giselle ignored her. So nobody wanted to talk about that. And also, Bravo itself is a colorist institution. The whole industry is. So somebody else already said we need to talk about these institutions that are in place instead of going on an individual level. I feel like it's both. But yeah, Bravo itself will never have that proper conversation because they are a part of the problem. And they're not going to take the time to address that and acknowledge that. But yeah, those ladies are colorists. Candace also doesn't have the range, and that's why that conversation flopped last time. Last thing, I got 2 new beautiful custom-made throw pillows. They were very expensive, and I named them Ashley and Mecca.
Shayla, you're so shady.
But that's all I have. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, Shayla. Take care. That's funny. Because I was not prepared for that. All right, let me get to these last couple of callers, guys. We're going to round this out, but I appreciate everyone being here. 444. Jess, I literally looked at the time and I saw you write it down. That's so funny. 444, angel numbers. Anyways. All right, Raquel, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Raquel?
Hi, yes.
Hey, how are you?
It's Raquel. Yeah.
Oh, Raquel, what's going
my
on?
second time calling.
Hi. Say it again?
It's my second time calling in, so I'm really happy I made it.
Thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm Toronto, so I heard that there might be a chance. So if there is,
We're working on it. We're definitely working on it.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
So, anyways, I just wanted to say, because I feel like for Potomac, the conflict that they have is basically this. Like, it's not actually is nowhere near the kind of conflict that they had on Atlanta. And with Atlanta, there was very severe conflicts that they had to get over. Candy had to get over rape allegations from Portia, and I don't think it nearly took her as long. And the season wasn't painful to watch. So I think that the producers should have brought in like a third party and did that group therapy session, which usually doesn't work and it makes a whole lot of drama. But at least we're talking about it. I feel like trying to ignore it for the whole season was a waste of a season, and then trying to get it done in the reunion, knowing that for the last 4 years the reunions never resolved a single conflict was silly. And so I just think, like, I feel that Robin has to explain why she can't forgive Wendy, because it makes no sense. Wendy didn't really do anything. She never said anything that Ashley hasn't said about Juan, that Karen hasn't said about Juan. Literally anybody that's on that platform has said something about Juan, but she can't forgive Wendy. When she talked about, but she talked about Wendy's husband first, and so did Giselle. And I don't understand how that turned around to be Wendy's fault. Wendy got over it with Mia. And so I just think that they should have been able to get through that. I know the stuff goes deeper with Candace, but I really don't understand what it is for Wendy. And I just feel like having that Black family on TV with how successful and intelligent that they are is so important. So anyways, that's it.
Thank you, Raquel, for calling in. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we're going to round this out. Let me just say thank you because we had a couple of... Rahina says, OMG, I finished seeing Patience and we are still alive. Kempire, are you hungry? Mm-hmm. Look, mm-hmm. Z, thank you so much for the super chat. Z says, traveling nurse, doctor, they are all... Wait, traveling nurse, doctor, they are all... Oh, in regards to Ike is too nice. Those be the ones. Oh, so in regards to Nneka's husband, traveling nurse, doctors, they are all whores. All right. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, please explain what Mia meant when she said to Nneka, it will look like you are watching the show. I still don't get it. Help. Oh, I remember that instance. She was talking about the way that Nneka was going to address anything, the next segment. And I forgot what Nneka said, but she was trying to let Nneka give her a heads up not to look like a fan of watching the show, like the past history, versus talking about what's relevant to this season. So I think that's what she was referring to Zoe. I can't remember exactly what Nneka said right before she said that. Bianca, thank you so much for the super chat. Bianca says, my Nigerian girlfriends are verbally aggressive to their husbands than I'm used to. So I don't know if Nneka is mean to Ike or that's normal convo for them. I mean, it could be. Look, it could be. Shout out to our Nigerian massive. Let us know. But I just find it interesting what Nneka had to say about Dr. Wendy and Eddie's relationship versus her own. Because I was just like, it sounds like you're projecting. So, but thank you for bringing that up, Bianca. We appreciate it. Christopher, thank you so much for the super chat. Christopher says, another super chat. House ninjas versus field ninjas. Oh, damn. I know what he's saying here. You know what he's saying. Here's the thing, though. If this comment was read during a reunion, Andy Cohen would have no idea what you're saying here. And this is why, again, Andy, it's time to step down. It's time to step down. Because you would be like, what does he mean, ninjas? What are we talking about here? Tawanda, thank you so much for the super chat. Tawanda says, Giselle said she was told that someone was going to talk with her. I know she's been a Karen. I wonder if that same person was supposed to talk with Giselle about the defamatory statement she made about Chris. I think Giselle, because of what Giselle was talking about being uncomfortable, I know HR was probably like, how do we address this? But what they should have addressed, and what Chris Bassett pointed out in this last reunion, was the defamatory things that she said this season in regards to, he made me go to a room and close the door. That was clearly not what the original statement was. Thank you, Tawanda, for the super chat. All right, let me get to these last couple of callers because, as Rahina says, Kempire is hungry. Okay? All right. Let me bring up DJ Dewan. I'm like, DJ, I know who this is. Dewan, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing.
Really quickly, Chris knows daggone well he sent that photo to that girl. He knew what Robin was talking about. And I'm typically not on Robin's side, but I believe wholeheartedly that Chris had some little thing coming up to the W and he was making burgers and adding cheddar cheese and letting it melt, if you know what I mean. He knows what Robin was talking about. And I think that is part of the reason why Candace has not had a baby with him yet. And I think also she has a problem with the lack of income that he supplies, because she's trying to go on tour. She was talking about she's paying for a lot of stuff. I vividly remember the scene when her and Dorothy were sitting under the table and she's talking about how stressful it's been. they're going to get divorced soon. Chris and Candace, I just it feels like there's trouble there. Also, I'm in the minority. I don't want to bypass anyone's experience, but I don't think that there is colorism, blatant colorism on the cast. And if so, it's shocking because Candace seems to want to be friends with everybody that she's accusing to be a colorist. And so I'm confused there.
Sidebar: last reunion, Candace has said that they are not colorists. Also, colorism is not always blatant.
True. It could be subliminal, but it seems interesting that conversation has been going on for the last 3 years without any resolve. And the dynamics the dynamics between the cast is just incredibly interesting. And then just lastly, the Mia is, her line can be sometimes really, really good, but then sometimes it just ruins everything. That whole beginning segment with her just trying to explain herself out of several lies over the season was awkward. And I think it's going to get her caught up with the whole ink thing. And I was kind of disappointed in him for bringing up the whole kid thing. That's it.
Thank you, Dewan, for calling in. Take care. All right, we got Chef Lorraine. Chef Lorraine, did you make me dinner? Chef Lorraine.
I wish I had made you dinner, but then I would have to send it all the way from Charlotte.
Oh, I want to come to Charlotte. What's going on?
How you doing? I miss you, Kempire. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I want to say real quick, love to Mama Allie and to Foxy the Suede. They always give me love when I come on. I came in late today. That's why y'all didn't see me. I'm going to try and make this quick. Okay. Vanderpump Rules. Ariana need to take that check from Sandoval and get it out the way, because I don't know how the heck you living with your ex and y'all hate each other. Bye, girl. Leave. Take that money and be out. Housewives of Potomac. I wanted to like Candace, but her mouth is so vulgar. And I kind of feel sorry for her right now, but I kind of don't at the same time. And I hate to say that. Robin is a sucker. Her and Warner only in it for the financial reasons. And Giselle, yes, I agree, is mad because everybody else got a husband and a man. Mia got 2 men right now and she ain't got none. Because that boy ain't her man that's from Summer House. He just a fling by night thing. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's all I really had to say. I didn't want to hold up anything because I know you need to eat. I love you and keep up the good work. And you and Richie Scott put it down and y'all need to do it again.
We are.
Okay?
We definitely are. Thank you, Chef Lorraine. Take care.
All right, baby. Talk to you soon.
Bye. I love our community. We have such a good community. All right. Let me bring up Delon. Hold on. Delon, what's going on? What were your thoughts?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am great. Okay, first I want to say Ashley had to have gotten that wig from Mr. Cal because that wig is very dry and synthetic. It's going to melt. Okay, and then 2, this hate for Wendy is just like on social media. It does not make sense to me because they can never provide a real reason why they dislike her. And the hate that she gets, I just pray that she is mentally okay because it's disgusting how bad they come for her on Twitter. It's very bad. And also, hit dogs were hollering this whole part of the reunion. Giselle could not keep her volume level below a 10. You're just screaming and wrong. And Robin with these fake tears in her big wig. Come on now. Because if y'all did not feel like y'all were colorists, you just would have shut up like y'all were doing the whole season with Candace and Wendy. But y'all had a lot to say when colorism came up. But in my neck and my back, girl, please be quiet. Please be quiet because Wendy literally tried with you and you called her the B word. You called her mama witch. And then she tried to have a sit down. How did she ice you out? She invited you to the only event she hosted this weekend. Where was the ice? You were melted.
Damn. All right,
she was
Delon.
water.
Thank you so much for calling.
See you in Nashville. You have a good day.
Yes, Delon. I'll see you in Nashville. Take care, guys. Don't forget, I will the Kempire After Dark a live show. If you want to have these types of conversations, but more explicitly, that is happening during our Kempire After Dark live tour. We will be coming to City Winery in Boston May 30th, Nashville July 11th, Atlanta July 12th, and we will be in Seattle on August 30th. So if you live in Portland, if you live in not Toronto, if you live in Vancouver, come to that show, because I can't promise I'm going to come to those other cities. Just saying, be honest. All right. Let me get to some of these last couple of calls. Thank you, Kalani. Kalani says, y'all let Kemp eat. Mind you, I fast. Let me just say, shout out to Hiker Love, because Hiker Love is the only person that asked me about my shoulder today. That damn cortisone shot is helping, Hiker Love. The shoulder is definitely feeling a lot better. I went to Pilates. They were very conscious on helping me open up my shoulder a little bit more. Then I went to acupuncture, and they helped me treat the shoulder as well. So thank you for asking, because no one else here asked me about how I'm doing. I kid. Tiara, thank you so much for the super chat. Tiara says, why didn't they mention the lawsuit against Eminem has on the GEBs? That has to be draining their pockets. There are no pockets. Maybe in part 3 they will ask. Honestly, they're lucky they're in the same sentence as Eminem in regards to this thing. But a lot of people also saying, like, Eminem, you shouldn't have the rights to a word like shady. That is true. All right. But anyways, thank you, Tiara, for the super chat and bringing it up. That's what we rely on. You guys, hey, V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, work won't let me be great, so I missed a lot. Anyways, I'm determined that Candace is pregnant. She cried more than usual. Oh, and she did say at the top of the reunion in regards to, pursuing more music and if that was going to slow her down with that. So maybe in the final part of the reunion, we'll get some more answers. We shall see. Darian, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support as well. All right, let me get to these last couple of callers. NYCMP's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. NYCMP, thoughts, opinions.
Okay, first of all, for your shoulder, next time instead of getting a steroid, get ketorolac and with the lidocaine, because you can get that multiple times without damaging the actual joint, whereas the cortisol will damage it.
Oh, damn. Oh, God, wait a minute. Wait. Note to self.
Ketorolac grams is 2 milliliters. Then you get 2 more milliliters of lidocaine 2% and mix that, put it in the little humerus back there, and poof, bow's your uncle. You'll be fine, and it won't damage your joint. So just futures.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Note to self. All right. NYP, what were your thoughts on this reunion?
Okay, so yeah, I guess I talked about your shoulder. The reunion, I felt so bad for Robin. I think we all know this is just a way for her to make money for her family. And also Candace, I felt like she was out when she got in. Like she was already done at the beginning of the reunion. Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's a way for, if Candace is removed, and you have only Giselle and Karen and Mia hanging in the fort, they're gonna have to form a unity because Karen's gonna see to it that Giselle does it. But that's all. I just want to say hello and thank you for everything. You mean the world to me, and we love you.
Thank you, NYCMP. Take care. Sidebar: New York City. I hope to announce our second show here soon. Stay tuned, okay, for the Kempire After Dark tour. All right. So we're going to bring up some repeats, and then I'm getting out here. Repeats, you're getting 30 seconds to share your thoughts, because that's all you can get, okay? Alex?
Yes, the people wanted me back. I told you the people wanted me back.
And I'm dropping you. I'm playing. What's going on, Alex?
How dare you? How very dare you? I understand you're hungry. I'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Listen, I just wanted to talk about Giselle. I see an evil bubbling from her when you cannot empathize with someone, even if you've had arguments, if you had serious problems with someone. If they are empathizing with you, the least you can do is not be mean to them. I see the evil bubbling through her ankles, her bulbous ankles, and her wrinkly neck. I see the evil. I see it. It's bubbling through, and that's very sad. Giselle, I
Can we not talk about people's bodies, please? Thank you.
Okay, but Candace talked about it, so excuse me. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. But seriously, Giselle, you need to seek some help, because there must be something wrong with you that you cannot at least be courteous to her if she is showing you emotional help. Let's remember, they were friends for a while on the show. They only had kind of a falling out. Season 6, 7 was really bad. Of course, we all know that. 6, they weren't the best of friends, but they were always friends. So obviously there is going to be an emotional attachment to someone that you've been friends with for your duration on the show. We know that Candace has grown up on the show, kind of. So, it makes sense.
Okay. No, you're
Enjoy
done.
your dinner.
Thank
I
you.
had my Chick-fil-A. I
Oh,
hope you have your good food. Yeah, I had Chick-fil-A. I had that big old waffle fry.
Actually, I
I
thought you
had a
said
12-piece
Chipotle.
chicken nugget.
I thought you said Chipotle. I was actually thinking Chipotle. Goodbye.
No, I said Chick-fil-A. And Chipotle, I don't like Chipotle. Maybe it's because I'm Mexican, but Chipotle is not it. Y'all need to get some real Mexican food. Go get you a torta. Go get you a torta with everything in it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Alex. Bye. Gosh. Ask says lidocaine comes in patches too, Kemp. I'm gonna talk to my doctor. I'm like, why are you trying to ruin my joints? L, thank you so much for the information. L My Bell says Reunion Part 2 had 818,000 viewers reported. I love how no one is watching, but yet they are watching. Well, I mean, that is pretty good for them because the numbers have been sort of in the 600 to 700,000 range. And that is just live viewers. Darian, thank you so much for the super chat. Darian says they won't have the colorism talk because the network and production are colorists and they benefit from it. That's why Wendy and Candace won't say anything. Well, I mean, I don't know if the people behind in the network are colorists because they're not black. So I know y'all don't want to say, but I'll say it. Racist? Okay. Peaches, thank you so much for the super chat. Peaches says, I agree. Candace looks pregnant. She looks like she has gained weight and her face is full. Y'all saw the dress Candace had on? I don't know about that, Peaches, but I hope that for her. And if she decided to choose peace during a pregnancy, good for her. I know the collab that I did recently with Layla Lynn and Grace Report, Layla said that she hopes that Candace is taking this time to have like a peaceful pregnancy. So maybe. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Kari. Kari, thoughts, opinions?
I just forgot to mention because that caller said that Robin said in the comment section that Chris came for her job and that's why she's trying to destroy his marriage. Excuse me, he came for your job. We've been coming for your job for the past 4 seasons. You're trying to get that man divorced. And it's crazy to me how you clocked the woman that Juan went to the hotel with as a clout chaser, but you're not clocking this woman as a clout chaser, even though she admitted to lying. That is very crazy to me. And Giselle, you're irrelevant. You're always going to be irrelevant, and that really bothers you. That in real life, no one cares about you. On this show, no one really cares about you unless you're starting mess, and that's why you keep doing it. That's the only way you're going to get talked about. Go eat, Kempire. We love you.
Oh, thanks, Kari. Bye. I love that you guys know that I need to eat. Thank you guys so much. We already have over 1,000 likes. Thank you for almost 2,000. No, more than 2,000 people watching on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for the super chats. Miss Brown Sugar says this in the super chat. Y'all, Giselle and Robin are black women too. I disagree with just about everything they've done, but the misgendering and calling folks demons ain't it. Okay. Thank you, Miss Brown Sugar, for the super chat and the perspective. Taria, thank you so much for the super chat. Taria says Candace should have paid G Dust like Wendy and Eddie did. Oh, Giselle, because I don't want to say G because we think it was Gordon. So Candace should have paid Giselle Dust like Wendy and Eddie did Deborah. Boom, no storyline. And I think that's exactly what Giselle was trying to do with Candace and Wendy this season. And I think that's what she instructed Robin to do as well. Okay. All right. Let me switch this out. There we go. Anyways, guys, thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you all for being a part of our impromptu live to recap Vanderpump Rules. I know you guys didn't really talk about that, and I know that's the majority of you weren't here for that, which is fine. But I wanted to at least talk a little bit about it. And thank you all for weighing in on part 2 of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 reunion. And if you missed it, DJ Richie Sky was here this past week, and we had a great time talking about this part 2 reunion. So be sure to check that out. I will see you all in the next one. Be sure to check out all of what you may have missed on the channel, including some pop culture news, because as you know, We don't just talk about the Real Housewives of reality television here. We talk about everything in pop culture. And we did our Tuesday takeover yesterday, so be sure to check that one out if you missed it. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to those that watch in the bushes. And most of all, thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down, because I know these conversations can get hot and heavy in the live chat and in the comment section. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you, so be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on Vanderpump Rules and the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 2 reunion. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you, Love, Calm, Peace for the super chat. Giselle is dust. Damn. Okay. I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.
Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. Je boog wat aan mijn best life, yeah. What's on my best life, yeah. You both what's on my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both what's on my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. You both what's on my best life, yeah. You both what's on my best life, yeah. You both what's on my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both what's on my best life, yeah. What's on my best life, yeah. You both what's on my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both what's on my best life, yeah.
Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.